Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Blair and today I wanted to film a full face of makeup I have not used in a very long time. So all of these products I would say have not been used in at least 6 months. They have just been sitting kind of hidden in my collection and never ever get used. So I figured I would just pull out a bunch of these things and play around with them today. So that's what we did, and this is the look that I came up with. So if you're interested in seeing me create this look with some makeup I have not used in quite a while, please keep watching and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I pulled out tons of makeup I have not used in a very long time. And honestly, I had planned to film another video today, but I had this idea and I really wanted to film this video. So we are gonna go in with primer. I know I never use primers, but I do have quite a few of them and I have not used this in forever. This is a mini of the Milk Hydro Grip primer. I remember I liked this, but I haven't used it in a very long time. Only thing I remember about this is it's very tacky, obviously, because the point is that it's supposed to grip your foundation. I feel like for a while this primer was really popular. I don't hear that many people talk about it anymore, but I do remember, I feel like for a good year when it came out, it was very popular on YouTube. I would see people talk about it constantly. I think that's why I ended up getting a mini size of it. I'm just gonna let this dry down for a second and then we will move on. Okay, that primer feels pretty good. It's definitely tacky, but it's not overly sticky or tacky feeling, so I kind of like that. I need to use that more, but we'll see how it does with my foundation on top. But first we're gonna go in with Corrector. Honestly, I don't have any correctors that I don't use often. I rotate them pretty frequently. So I figured I would use Bobbi Brown today because I don't remember the last time I used Bobbi Brown in a video. I've kind of been using the Becca one and Charlotte Tilbury and the NARS one. So I've been giving this one a little bit of a break, but I wanted to use this today. I just cleaned all of my makeup brushes a few days ago, and this is the first time I've filmed since I did that, and it's so nice when you sit down with all clean brushes. It's just like the best feeling. I always put off cleaning them because it takes forever, but I love going in with a freshly cleaned makeup brush. For foundation today, I wanted to use Estee Lauder Double Wear. This is kind of one of the products that gave me the idea to film a video like this. So I really want to use this. I haven't used this in, I would say, at least a year, to be honest. I have not used this in forever. In fact, it may be expired, I don't know, but we're going to use it. This is the shade 1W2. All right, so I have just a little bit on my palette here, and I feel like I don't really remember how I would apply this back when I used to use it. I used to use this years ago. Okay, so I'm just gonna start with this amount. I know I don't want to go in with too much of this, and I am using my BK Beauty 106 foundation brush. So this is definitely one of those foundations you want to be mindful of the amount of product that you're using, because it can start to look like a lot on your skin really fast. So you want to keep that in mind when you're applying it. Less is definitely gonna be best with this one. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit more in the areas that I want a little more coverage. So this is definitely one of those foundations that if you have a lot of fine lines, I would keep as much of this foundation away from those lines as possible. Because for me, one thing I always remember about this when I use it is I don't have a ton of lines on my forehead, okay? I'm 28, I don't have a ton, but I do have some. And every time I've used this foundation, I remember you cannot over apply this in areas where you have lines because it is a matte foundation and it does kind of sink into lines, in my opinion. So that's why I do not apply much on my forehead. I don't typically do that anyway with any foundation, but definitely not with this one because it will, I personally think, accentuate lines. So just keep that in mind. Something else I always remember about this foundation when I use it is you don't have a ton of blending time with it. So make sure you don't apply it and leave it to sit too long before you go in and blend it because it will kind of start to set down quickly. So that's all I'm going to do for the foundation. I don't think this is even full coverage. I could probably go in with the rest, but I'm not going to do that. I like the way this looks. It's definitely a little more matte than I typically go for, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it, and we're gonna go in with some highlight a little bit later. Okay, for concealer, this I actually repurchased a few days ago, and I kind of got the idea for this video from this product, and it is the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer. So if you've been watching me for a while, you may remember this used to be my favorite concealer, and I used mine up, and it's been quite a while since I've had it. So I bought a new one at Ulta, and this is a new shade. This is the shade Honey. I don't think I used this shade before when I used this, but I actually went to Ulta to get the new Catrice concealer. They didn't have the new concealer. I was actually going to order it from Ulta, and most of the shades are sold out. Most of the Ultas in my area at least don't even carry Catrice anymore. So anyway, I ended up getting this concealer since I knew that I liked it. I'm going to blend this in with my Sigma F03. I'm curious to try this again and see if I like it as much as I did before, because this used to be my go-to. It's so affordable. I think it's like $6 and it gives great coverage. I will say the shade range really needs some work. I wish they would add some more shades, and I wish you could get Catrice in other places in the United States, because I think the only place you can get it here is Ulta, and obviously you can order it from Catrice.com, but a lot of their products are really good, and I feel like I don't use them a ton because they're just kind of harder to get your hands on, and I'm always kind of an instant gratification person. Like when I decide I want a new makeup product, I really like to go buy it, like go to the store and get it right then. I really don't love ordering. I'm probably kind of in the minority there because I feel like a lot of people love to order things online. I just don't. Sometimes I just want to go and get something like right that second. You know what I mean? I'm going to add a little bit more concealer anywhere where I want a little more coverage. This color is good for me. I don't know if I said what color this is, but it's Honey. I do still really like this concealer. It's a little more on the matte side, but I don't mind it, especially with the Double Wear foundation. But we'll see how it looks in a little bit. But so far, I'm still really liking that one. If you want to try something new from the drugstore, I would recommend this one. Okay, for bronzer, I haven't used this in a long time either. It's the Chanel Le Beige Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream. And this is the new formula. So I never had the old one. I don't know anything about it really, other than people were not happy when they redid it. But yeah, I never tried the original, so I can't really compare the two. I do know they came out recently with the darker version of this, I'm pretty sure, which is good because this definitely is too light for anyone that I would say is darker than like a light medium skin tone. This is not going to show up on you. So I am happy that they did add a darker option. So I'm going to apply this with the same brush I used for the foundation. I think if I'm correct, what people were upset about is, well, number one, they changed the formula on this, but number two, they added coconut oil. And I know a lot of people have issues with coconut oil breaking them out. I have never noticed that with anything that has coconut oil in it, but I know that's like a common complaint that I've heard about this. This is such a pretty product though. I loved this the second I got it and used it, and I just haven't used it in a while. I've been using other cream bronzers that I have, but this is such a pretty product to me. I love, love, love it. It's so easy to blend, so natural looking. I really like it. Now I want to go in with a powder bronzer, and this may shock you, but I don't use this bronzer. And I don't know if it's just because I have others that I just love so much more. I don't really know why I don't use it, but I want to use it today, and it's the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. So I loved this bronzer when I first got it, but I just found that over time I was reaching for it less and less, and sometimes I honestly wonder if it's because it's so large. I have a tendency not to reach for larger makeup products. That may sound really weird, but I'm like that with eyeshadow palettes as well. I just have a tendency not to reach for things that have abnormally large packaging. I think that's probably just me being weird, but that's like the only thing I can think of with this, because I do like it, but I do not reach for it. And I'm using the, let's see, BK Beauty 104 brush to apply this. And this is the shade medium in the bronzer. I thought this would be a good choice for today because it's definitely more of a matte looking bronzer on your face. And since we're using more matte complexion products, I thought I would use a matte bronzer. For a blush, this was the one that really stood out to me. I loved these when I first got them, but they've just kind of fallen off my regular rotation, and it's the Cover FX Monochromatic Blush Duos. And I have several. This one is the soft peach shade, so you get a matte blush and a shimmer blush. Do you guys remember when everyone was talking about these? And now I feel like no one ever mentions them, but they are really pretty. I am gonna mix a little bit of the matte and the shimmer since we have a good bit of matte products on the face. One thing I will say about these is they are very, very pigmented. So you do not need a lot. So I'm barely using any product, and you get a good bit of pigment. I personally really like mixing the matte and the shimmer. I just feel like it gives you a really pretty glow that kind of reminds me of the Buxom primer infused blushes. I really like that. I think they're really pretty. For powder, I brought two of them over. I think I'm going to use one under my eyes and one kind of all over my face. The first one is the Ilia Soft Focus Finishing Powder. And this one I want to use under my eyes because the other powder I have is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder, but it's the glow version. I just have the mini size, and I feel like this powder I've had for at least 2 years, to be honest, and I do not remember the last time I used it. So I'm going to take that Ilia powder on an eyeshadow brush and just set a little bit under my eyes. I feel like when I used to use this Catrice concealer, I did set it with a little bit of powder. I could be wrong, but I'm just going to use a little bit. And this Ilia powder is really, really fine, so it's not heavy looking under the eyes, but I haven't used it in a long time. I'm going to take a little bit of this Laura Mercier glow powder, like not a whole lot because I know this is pretty glowy if I remember it correctly. So I'm just going to get a little bit, and I'm basically just going to go around very, very lightly. And I'm going to kind of treat this like the Hourglass ambient powders, where you just kind of use it to finish your makeup, not so much set your makeup, because the Double Wear from Estee Lauder, to be honest, really doesn't need a ton of powder. So I thought using something glowy like this would be nice. Okay, for the brows, I pulled out two pencils because I feel like one of these did not match me very well, and that's why I didn't use it, but I brought two of them. So I have the Colourpop Brow Boss pencil in the shade light brown. I haven't used this in at least a year, maybe longer than that. And then I also have this. This is the Catrice Slimatic brow pencil. This is the shade light, but I used to use this in the shade medium all the time. Back when I first started my channel, I remember I used to buy this all the time at Ulta. But before we fill in, I'm going to use this. This is also something I haven't used in forever. It's the Ilia Essential Brow Natural Volumizing Brow Gel. I've honestly not been using a whole lot of brow products other than my NYX micro brow pencil and my Patrick Ta brow wax, so kind of pains me to use different things, but that's the whole point of this video. So I'm gonna go in with this brow gel first, and then we will fill them in. Okay, that brow gel kind of reminds me of the Merit Beauty brow gel, but it's a little bit, has a little bit of a different brush to it. So the Ilia one has long bristles. The brush itself is pretty small, but it has really long bristles, which I don't hate, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. It's okay. I don't know that it's worth the money. I want to say this is like $30. But to fill in, I'm going to use the Colourpop pencil first. It's been so long since I used this. I really don't remember a whole lot about it. It's very, very waxy feeling. Yeah, so this Colourpop pencil feels pretty dry and waxy, so I can't really remember if that's just kind of how it is, or if maybe this one is just kind of old and dried out. The consistency of this Colourpop pencil does kind of remind me of my NYX Micro Brow, but I don't know, something about it I just don't love. It's almost a little too waxy. I think I'm gonna stop there. I was gonna use a little bit of the Catrice pencil, but honestly I don't really want to fill them in anymore. So I think we'll just stick with this for now. Pencil's not bad, it's just not my favorite. I like the NYX one a little bit better. Okay, let's move on to the eyes, and I pulled out my MAC paint pot. This is in the shade Painterly. I used to use this a lot more. I just typically now use my NARS eyeshadow base if I'm trying to like use an actual primer on my eyes, but I do like this from MAC. For the eyes, I picked out two palettes. I couldn't choose just one, so I just picked both. So this is the Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette. I have not used this in forever, but this is such a cute little palette. You get 2 mattes and then 3 shimmers, but the colors in here are really, really pretty. And then I also pulled out this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury, the Easy Smoky Eye Palette. And it looks like this, just some warm neutral shades. Okay, I think I'm gonna go in with this shade in the Mini Retro palette, and I think this is called Vintage Taupe. And I'm gonna use this as my crease shade. That color is really nice. It blends really, really well too. If you've never tried Natasha Denona shadows and you really want to, but you don't want to spend the money on one of the bigger palettes, these are so good. One of her little mini palettes, I think they're $20 or $25, but it's such a great way to try out her shadow formula, and the formula is just as good in these. Like that shade just practically blended itself. It's so nice and just creamy. I love it. I'm going to go in with the Charlotte palette now and use this shade here. Kind of similar to the Natasha Denona shade we just used, but it's a little bit peachier. A little bit darker and a little bit peachier. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of this in the outer corner. That shade blends really well with that Natasha Denona shade. For some reason, I really want to go in with this shade in the Mini Retro palette. So I think I'm going to take a little bit of that on my finger and tap this mainly in the center of the lid, and then I'll just bring what's left to the outer corner. Ooh, that is pretty. I forgot, I have not used this in so long. Kind of looks blue, but it also kind of looks green. It's a really pretty, interesting shade. I love it. Okay, now we're going to take the dark, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a gray or a green, but I'm gonna take a little tap of that and a little tap of the dark brown in the Charlotte Tilbury palette. And we're gonna go over the outer corner again and blend up just a little bit into the crease. So that is all I'm gonna do there. I'm not even really sure if I like those colors together, but it's too late now. So now I wanna go into the Mini Retro, and I'm gonna take this really light shimmery shade, and we're gonna put this on the inner portion of the lid. Okay, then I'm gonna go into the first shade we used right here, Vintage Taupe, on the lower lash line. I think I'm gonna take just a little bit of the sparkly blue-green, and we're just gonna tap a little bit of this on the outer half of my bottom lash line. Then I'm gonna go back into the blending brush we used first and go over everything. I didn't put any more shadow on here. I'm just using whatever is left over. Okay, I think that's all I'm gonna do for eyeshadow. I'm not really sure what I would call this. It's kind of an interesting mix of colors, but I thought it would be fun to do something a little bit different. And now I want to do just a little bit of eyeliner. So I have two here. I have the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk liner. And then I also have this from Benefit. It's the Bad Gal Bang liner. And I actually don't think this has ever been used. So I think I am first going to take the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk liner. Again, I'm not really sure why I don't use this. It's a really pretty color, but I never reach for this for some reason. So I'm going to put a little bit on the outer half of my lash line. Okay, then I'm gonna get a little bit on my BK Beauty 208 and try to do a bit of a wing. So this pencil is not super easy to move around. I kind of forgot about that. So I was able to make a little bit of a wing. You're probably not even going to be able to see it, but I forgot. This Pillow Talk pencil sets very quickly, so it's not like the eye powder pencil I use all the time. I kind of forgot about that, but oh well. I think that purple actually looks kind of pretty with this eye look. I remember when I got this Pillow Talk liner, I thought that would be something I would use all the time. And I literally never use it, and I'm not really sure why. Let's put a little bit of this Charlotte Tilbury liner in my waterline. I was gonna put a little bit of the Benefit liner, but I feel like black might be a little bit harsh for this eye look. I'm gonna quickly curl my eyelashes, and then we will apply a little bit of mascara. For mascara, I chose the Milani Highly Rated mascara. I'm not sure why. This is just kind of the first one that stuck out to me when I was looking at the ones that I have open, but there is a good chance that this is very old and maybe extremely clumpy, but we will see. Definitely a little bit clumpy, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Oh, no, that actually looks nice. Huh. I feel like this mascara has been open for way longer than it probably should be. I really need to go through all my mascaras in my drawer that I have open and get rid of the ones that are too old, because I know there are quite a few of them. This mascara, you guys, is really nice. Actually, I feel bad that I was about to say it wasn't going to be good, but it actually looks really nice. Really like that. That's another mascara I feel like no one talks about. Milani Highly Rated. But this is pretty good. Pretty good. And last but not least, you guys, I had a very, very hard time picking lip products. I have got all of these lipsticks, lip gloss, and then 3 lip liners because I could not decide. I have so many lip products that I feel like there's quite a few of them that I don't use a whole lot, but I'm thinking I want to use this from MAC. This is the MAC pencil in Subculture. It's just a very, very light nude. I feel like the main reason I don't reach for this lip liner is because I just don't reach for my MAC liners in general, and I have quite a few of them. but it's mainly just because the formula is not my favorite. But their colors are really good. Like this color is really pretty. I need to use this more. And yeah, I think that's the only lip liner I'm gonna use. And then for the lips, okay, at first I thought I wanted to use this. Do you guys remember when this was all over YouTube? It's Hollywood, or no, it's Pure Hollywood from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's the liquid lipstick, and I remember this used to be so popular. It's just a really pretty nude, but I never wear liquid lipsticks. I never really have, but I really don't wear them now. And then I have MAC in the shade Honeylove, which is just a pretty nude. I really like that one. And then I have KKW Nude 2.5. It's a little bit peachier, I think, than the MAC Honeylove. I think I'm going to go in with the KKW one first. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Definitely kind of on the peachy side, but I kind of like it with the blush that we have on. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of Honeylove in the middle. And then I have two lip glosses. I have the Lifter Gloss in the shade Reef, which I will use these all the time, but not this particular shade. And then I also have the Morphe Gloss in Flower Crown. But I kind of want to use the Lifter Gloss in this color because I just never reach for Reef for some reason. But I feel like, oh yeah. Oh, this is so pretty with those lipsticks. Oh, love it. Love, love, love it. Ooh, one more thing I brought out was this from Benefit. It's the Cookie Highlighter. I still love this. I don't reach for highlighter as much now, but this is such a pretty one. It's very, very intense. I'm gonna take a little bit of this on my cheekbones, my nose, my chin, and then I think I'm gonna take a little bit on my inner corner as well. Yeah, that's such a pretty, it's very, very intense, but so, so pretty. So that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was really fun. I wanted to quickly kind of look at some of these products just to see what my thoughts are. And you guys, the foundation looks really nice. Like I said, I haven't used Double Wear in forever, but it looks really nice. It doesn't look cakey at all. I don't see any settling. It looks really good. I still probably would not use this on a daily basis just because it's more coverage than I typically wear, and it's a little bit more on the matte side, but with everything I have on top of it, it looks really nice and pretty. My skin does not look dry at all, which is key with this foundation because you can, like I said, go in with too much of this and it can go south really, really quickly, but it looks good. And I almost wonder if maybe this is a good combo to use it with this Milk Primer. I don't know, but I'm actually really liking this makeup. I'm a little iffy on the eyes just because I really didn't have a plan. I don't really know where I was going with it, but I kind of like it because it's different than what I normally do. I will say I probably should have done my eyes first because these Natasha shimmer shades in here do have a little bit of fallout on your face, but it's nothing too crazy and you can just kind of wipe it away with a powder brush. But overall, this looks really nice, you guys. I really like it actually. So I need to pull out some more of these products clearly and use them on a more regular basis because these are some good things that are just sitting in my collection and not getting used. So I want to start doing these videos more frequently on my channel just to make sure I'm using everything, kind of similar to Shop My Stash, but these videos or these products are things I really haven't used in a long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had fun filming this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and go follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.